The current domestic cloud computing market is led by the three traditional internet companies BTA. At the same time, Huawei Cloud is also rapidly rising with its own hardware platform. The planning department showed me a piece of information. In addition to the above four companies with the largest market share in the cloud computing business, there are several other domestic cloud computing companies that are weaker and have not been listed. There are 3 companies in total, all of which are under our investigation and acquisition targets. Among them, I will hold another special meeting later to determine the acquisition target. At this point, Luo Yang suddenly changed the topic and mentioned another news. Just today, I heard an interesting piece of news. It is said that Warwick Company is in contact with a third-party payment company and is preparing to acquire a payment license. Obviously, Warwick and Bachin Technology have the same idea, and they both rely on operating systems to drive traffic for their own mobile payments. If this acquisition is completed, the mobile payment landscape will be changed again. Bachin Technology and Warwick Company are deploying mobile payment services at the same time, which will inevitably have a certain impact on the two giants, Weixin and Payment Pack. Luo Yang looked at the crowd and said earnestly, "Time waits for no one." Not only Bachin Technology is rising rapidly, but other companies are also constantly catching up. We must speed up the pace of progress. Don't forget, there are still many overseas giants eyeing Bachin Technology. With the growth of Bachin Technology, Microsoft's market share will continue to shrink, and severe sanctions against us may come at any time. Everyone looked at each other in shock. The rapid expansion of Bachin Technology during this period made them feel a little elated. "Mr. Luo, we understand. It's really been a bit crazy these days. Many employees have been bragging all day long, thinking that Bachin Technology can sweep the world. It seems that a meeting will be held to correct this trend." Everyone opened their mouths to answer. Luo Yang nodded, as long as everyone can listen to their opinions. "Okay, we'll follow up on the acquisition of cloud computing vendors later, and let's continue talking about dividends." Luo Yang's words made many people look excited. When I first founded Bachin Technology, I had limited funds, and I had to save every penny, so I couldn't give everyone a generous salary. After all, everyone is a top student in the computer department after graduation. I can just get a job in an internet company. An annual salary of hundreds of thousands is easy. Since you can give up your high-paying positions and start a business with me from scratch, I will naturally not treat you badly. According to the agreement when we started the business, except for the 3 founders, myself, Han Feng, and He Siyuan, other veteran-level initial employees will have the right to purchase the company's original shares at one time. Everyone knows that if nothing unexpected happens, it is only a matter of time before Bachin Technology grows into a trillion-dollar giant. According to the agreement at the time, the company must give up 0.05% of the original shares as a reward to the initial employees. This ratio was negotiated by everyone, based on the peak market value of $1 trillion in the future. The overall value is $500 million. Of course, the current valuation of Bachin Technology by the outside world is $50 billion. This 0.05% of the original shares is the current value is $25 million. And now, it's time for me to fulfill my promise. Following Luo Yang's words, everyone's breathing became heavier. Original shares of Bachin Technology worth $25 million. Any veteran-level initial employee who started my business with me and has worked at Bachin Technology for 1 year and still has not resigned will be eligible to subscribe for original shares. The specific number will vary according to their position and contribution to the company. The current registered capital of Bachin Technology is 12 million yuan. Based on the total share capital of 12 million shares, 0.05% of the share capital is 6,000 shares, with a face value of 1 dragon yuan per share, and net assets per share of $4,166/27,499 dragon yuan. The value of net assets per share is calculated based on the $50 billion quoted price for Bachin Technology from the outside world. If you have any objections, you can raise them now. Everyone looked at each other and expressed no objection. Bachin Technology is currently growing rapidly, and the price of $50 billion will continue to rise. Everyone is very confident in this. Okay, since no one has any objections, it's settled. These 6,000 original shares are the company's exclusive rewards for veteran employees. Except for our 3 founders, The founding team of Bachin Technology has reached 150 people, and these 6,000 shares were jointly subscribed by these 150 people. It doesn't matter if you don't have money to buy now, the company can provide interest-free loans to buyers. The loan will be deducted from the employee's salary and year-end bonus according to a certain percentage. Theoretically, as long as a P5 level employee works enough in the company, the loan can be paid off in 5 years. If you're a higher level employee, it's even faster. Luo Yang gave a solution. After employees took out loans to purchase original shares, they were bound to Bachin Technology before the loan was repaid. When the loan was repaid, Bachin Technology would continue to launch other incentive plans for core employees and senior management talents, thereby attracting the majority of employees. Some talents stay in the company. The specific plan will be adjusted later. The most important thing now is to complete the distribution of original shares. Considering that everyone may leave their job midway, we have relevant restrictions on this. The original shares are prohibited from being sold within 10 years. If the holder still insists on leaving his job, then Bachin Technology will repurchase the original shares subscribed by him at a price equal to the original shares. Initial offering price. If the holder has worked for Bachin Technology for more than 10 years, the equity restrictions will be lifted. At that time, employees can choose to sell the shares freely at the prevailing market price. At the same price, Bachin Technology will still have the priority to repurchase the shares. If the employee's loan has not been repaid before he leaves the company will take back the original shares at the original purchase price, and all fees paid by the departing employee will be refunded. The employee can leave the company after the remaining loan is paid off. This article was set up to prevent Luo Yang from causing trouble to the company's equity after the original stockholders resigned midway. Although Bachin Technology has a bright future, it cannot be ruled out that competitors may poach employees with high salaries. The specific number of original shares subscribed is based on position and contribution to the company. You can check it yourself. Boom! The conference room suddenly exploded. As for whether to subscribe for the original shares, everyone has a unanimous opinion, that is, buy. Although these 6,000 original shares are only worth $25 million now, when Bachin Technology fully grows, it can skyrocket to $500 million or even higher. If 150 people jointly subscribe, even if each person can subscribe for 40 shares on average, they will have to pay approximately $166,000, which is a cost of 1.1 million Dragon Yuan to get it. If Bachin Technology really reaches a valuation of $1 trillion, then the value of these 40 shares will surge 20 times to $3.32 million. That's about 21.92 million Dragon Yuan. Wouldn't it mean that everyone in our founding team of 150 people has become a multi-millionaire? F***K. I don't know what to say, Mr. Luo and B. The entire conference room was completely boiling. 150 multimillionaires. If it were any other company, it would have been hard work for more than 10 years before it managed to get to the point where it was listed on the market. However, when it went public, it broke the market and directly lost the family fortune. Even if it were another internet company, it would only create a large number of multimillionaires when it goes public, but after the excitement, everyone calmed down. If you think about it carefully, there is actually nothing to be excited about. Bachin Technology is not short of money, which means that Bachin Technology will not be listed, and the original shares are not allowed to be liquidated within 10 years. The current price is not even if it is speculated to the sky how useful it is, and the company has the priority to repurchase it. The only benefit is that you can get dividends within 10 years, plus sell it to the company for a large amount of cash after 10 years. Everyone is very satisfied with this. Whether this 1.1 million Dragon Yuan is placed in the bank or used for financial management, its 10-year profit is completely different from the original stock profit. On the one hand, there are stable but very low interest rates, and on the other hand, there is a valuation that is very likely to skyrocket 20 times. There is no need to worry about such a simple multiple-choice question, just buy. If they had not followed Luo Yang to join Bachin Technology, they might still be working in other companies now, but their annual salary would only be a few $100,000. There have been too many changes in 10 years, and no one can guarantee that their net worth will exceed tens of millions long yuan. And if we don't consider the problem of cashing out now, just relying on these original stocks, they will most likely have a net worth of 20 million in 10 years. Will Bachin Technology fail and eventually retire sadly? Of course it's impossible. Everyone has no doubt about the huge potential of Baichin Technology, and more importantly, after subscribing for the original shares, they can also participate in the company's dividends, although it is only a 0.05% ratio. No matter how small the original shares are, it still means that they are half the owners of Baichin Technology. Of course, despite subscribing for original shares, it does not mean that they can join the board of directors. In order to ensure control of the company and reduce redundant institutions, Luo Yang stipulated in the agreement when he started his business that small shareholders with less than 1% of individual shares would not join the board of directors. These 150 small shareholders will jointly elect a shareholder representative who will join the company's supervisory board together with the employee representatives elected by the employees. Although in most companies, the board of supervisors has no rights, it is an indispensable institution. Even a one-person limited company needs a supervisor. This 0.05% original share ratio was allocated from Luo Yang's personal shares, which was also agreed in advance in the agreement. As a result, the latest equity ratio of Baichin Technology is as follows. Luo Yang, founder of Baichin Technology and the company's largest shareholder, has reduced its shareholding ratio from 94% to 93.95%. Han Feng, co-founder, is the company's second largest shareholder, holding 3% of the shares. He Siyuan, co-founder, is the second largest shareholder of the company, holding 3% of the shares. Original shareholders composed of 150 initial employees, holding a total of 0.05% of the shares of Luo Yang's 93.95% equity. 10% of the reserve stock pool options were originally reserved. However, now that Baichin Technology is no longer short of money, it should not consider the issue of listing financing in the future, so this 10% stock pool option was directly withdrawn by Luo Yang himself. As for future stock futures and other incentive measures, the proportion of the stock pool that needs to be allocated will be shared among all shareholders. Everyone expressed no objection to this point. After the original stock subscription is completed, the next step is to pay dividends. Luo Yang continued, according to the company's second phase strategic development plan, at least a budget of 22 billion yuan must be reserved for a series of subsequent investment acquisitions. In addition, the company needs to retain a certain amount of cash flow to prevent accidents. So I decided to use 1 billion to distribute dividends. After deducting the 20% dividend tax, everyone will jointly distribute the remaining 800 million after-tax dividends, 800 million in after-tax dividends. The whole conference room was in an uproar instantly. The most excited people were not Luo Yang, but Han Feng and He Siyuan. After all, it was Luo Yang who proposed the dividend plan, and they had already had psychological expectations. Han Feng and He Siyuan are different. They are co-founders and each hold 3% of the shares. According to the proportion, each of them can receive 24 million in after-tax dividends. According to the shareholding ratio, I personally will receive an after-tax dividend of 751.6 million yuan. Han Feng and He Siyuan each received an after-tax dividend of 24 million yuan, while the holders of the original shares will jointly distribute 40 million yuan. And based on the shareholding ratio, with an after-tax dividend of 10,000 renminbi, each person will receive at least 2,666 renminbi on average. Whoosh! Applause resounded throughout the conference room. From this moment on, Luo Yang became a real billionaire with hundreds of millions of dollars, and Han Feng and He Siyuan became multi-millionaires. Although Baichin Technology will not sell any more original shares after the original stock subscription is completed, employees who join later should not be discouraged. The company will launch a more complete incentive system in the future, so stay tuned. Luo Yang concluded the meeting and also appeased a wave of employees who did not receive original shares. At this moment, these new employees are all envious and jealous. Most of them came from Feihai Financial. Don't envy them. After I work for a few years, I will definitely be rewarded with stock futures. They comforted themselves in their hearts, because they are considered the second batch of employees of Baichin Technology. It is foreseeable that Baichin Technology will continue to expand rapidly. When the company launches a new employee incentive plan, they will be the first batch of beneficiaries. In short, if you want to obtain higher income and status, you must take root deeply in Baichin Technology and continue to attack higher job levels. Everyone present was a company executive, and they all began to study the reports in their hands. The number of original shares subscribed by employees will be determined based on their personal position level and contribution to the company. The company implements the P sequence for technical positions and the M sequence for management positions. P positions are divided into levels from 1 to 14, and M positions are divided into levels from 1 to 14. At level 10, the two can be converted into each other. The position of supervisor M1 is equivalent to a senior engineer at level P6, and the other levels are calculated in accordance with the rules. The specific calculation method for the subscription of original shares for each position is Luo Yang, referred to Alibaba for the setting of technical positions and management positions. If you are interested, you can search it. I won't go into details here. The first batch of initial employees who followed Luo Yang to start a business started at the P5 level. After reaching the P5, senior engineer, level, you can already subscribe for up to 25 original shares, and you only need to pay 687,000 Dragon Yuan to obtain it. P6 is equivalent to the position of M1 and can be transferred to each other. At this level, you can subscribe for up to 35 original shares. The higher the level, the more original shares can be subscribed. Most of these 150 people are at the P5, P6, and P7 levels. As for some senior executives, their highest positions have reached the P11 level. At present, the core management of Baichen Technology mainly includes Luo Yang, founder, chairman, president, chief technology officer, head of the operating system department, and director of the technology development department of Baichen Technology; Linya, director of Baichen Technology, assistant to the chairman and assistant to the president, head of the finance department and audit department, and concurrently head of the human resources department. Han Feng, co-founder, director, executive vice president, head of the office software department, and deputy director of the technology development department of Baichen Technology. He Yuan, co-founder, director, executive vice president, head of search engine department, and head of Aurora brand strategy of Baichen Technology. Among the core management, only Linya is qualified to subscribe for original shares, and as a core management member. Linya is also the one who subscribes for the largest number of original shares among this group of employees. Other non-core executives include other first-level department heads of the company, some second-level department heads, and presidents/general managers of subsidiaries. The first-level departments include the Public Relations Planning Department and the Legal Department, while some second-level supervisors include the Information Security Department, Luo Language Development Department, Aurora Payment Department, etc. First of all, the first-level departments and the second-level departments are not fixed and will be adjusted according to the company's business changes. According to Luo Yang's development plan in the second phase, Aurora Payment will eventually be upgraded to a first-level department, including the cloud computing department to be acquired later, which is also a first-level department. At present, due to limited manpower, the company has a situation where high-level positions are underrepresented. After the business expands in the future, Luo Yang will start to change the department settings and establish the company's business divisions and business groups. At that time, the personnel will be further adjusted. For a company, human resources and finance are top priorities. Both are currently in charge of Linya, who is considered Luo Yang's most trusted confidant. As for the human resources department, it was relatively easy to manage because the company only had more than 100 people before. Now it is constantly expanding, and it is difficult for Linya's attention to take care of both sides. This means that one of the human resources or finance departments must be separated. Considering that Linya is from the finance department and is in charge of Baichen Technology's financial affairs, she cannot easily adjust her position. Therefore, the position of the person in charge of the human resources department needs to be given up, so that Linya can be in charge of the company's financial affairs with peace of mind. Among the company's current senior executives, only Zhang Yi, the president of the Hong Kong Island branch, and Gao Yunhai, the head of the legal department, have relevant professional experience. The others are all school graduates. The company is currently expanding too fast, and will continue to recruit employees in the future. Whether it is recruiting or managing talents, it is very necessary to introduce a professional manager to serve as the head of the company's human resources department. Zhang Yi, 41 years old, graduated from the finance department of Fuda. He has worked in many financial institutions in China and Hong Kong Island and has rich industry experience. He was later employed as a teacher in the finance department of Fuda. Not long ago, he was poached by Luo Yang with a high salary. He is currently the president of the Hong Kong Island branch and is mainly responsible for the company's foreign exchange business and some international businesses. However, because he only joined a month ago, he did not get the opportunity to subscribe for the original shares. Gao Yunhai, 43 years old, graduated from Fudo Law Department. He has been working as a lawyer since graduation and has worked in several well-known law firms. When he started his business, Luo Yang was worried that his team did not understand the law in order to prevent others from exploiting loopholes in contracts and other aspects. Luo Yang specially I visited Gao Yunhai and finally recruited him to Beichin Technology, becoming the first batch of initial employees. Gao Yunhai is currently the head of the company's legal department. He is responsible for some of the company's previous contracts, changes in various procedures, and the acquisition of Fei Finance and Xianghang Building. He is responsible for the relevant contract terms, which Luo Yang values very much. One of the people, Beichin Technology's first dividend meeting is over. The company's initial employees were busy subscribing for original shares, and most of them chose interest-free loans. A few employees bought it in one go with their own money. Some were from relatively wealthy families, and some raised their own money. After all, not everyone is used to borrowing money for consumption. After the original stock subscription was completed, everyone also received their first dividend. At the same time, Luo Yang also received his own dividends, with more than 700 million in cash lying in his personal bank account. Luo Yang has his own arrangements for the use of the money. The first thing is the house. You must have at least 2 permanent houses in Shanghai, one for your parents and one for yourself. You must buy a house. I have been starting a business before, and my funds have been planned accordingly and cannot be tampered with. Now I have finally achieved financial freedom. When considering buying a house, Luo Yang naturally prefers a private villa. There are many villa areas in Shindong New District, such as Jujiantang, one of the most famous villa areas. This villa area is located near the official institutions of Shindong New District, surrounded by green water. Not far away is the Century Park, which covers a large area, and there is a golf course nearby. There are also mostly villa areas around the villa, and the residents are either rich or noble. Jack Ma bought a property here, and the others who live here are also well-known domestic bosses. At present, there are no new houses in the villa area, only second-hand houses are for sale. The current house price is 250,000 yuan per square meter, and the area of most units exceeds 600 square meters. A house costs at least 150 million yuan. TSK. At his desk, Luo Yang browsed the pages of the real estate transaction website. Now the website provides VR house viewing, which allows customers to understand the house type in the most intuitive way. Luo Yang hadn't decided on a purchase target yet, so he just searched for well-known villa areas online. Then I saw a piece of news about Jack Ma. After clicking on it, it listed 10 houses purchased by Jack Ma around the world. After taking a closer look, Luo Yang's favorite is a suite in Suzhou, Taoyuan, developed by Lecheng. He likes this Hui-style architecture very much. In the future, you may consider buying a property in Sioux City as an investment. Luo Yang wrote down the name, and then continued to look at other villa types nearby: Royal Green Garden, Huazhou Junting, Thompson Golf. For the real wealthy people, the best and most comfortable way is to ask professionals to design a house for themselves. The next best thing is to buy a house, and most wealthy people are willing to buy new houses. Many rich people believe in feng shui and think it is unlucky to buy a second-hand house, even if it is renovated. And Luo Yang has even experienced time travel, so he feels a little confused if he doesn't believe in feng shui. In the end, Luo Yang decided that, just like the company's strategy of first buying the Qianghang building as its headquarters and then investing in building a new headquarters and technology park, he decided to buy a house to live in first, and then invest in building a brand new luxury house. Even if you are buying, you must choose a new house. These villa areas are relatively far from Beichin building. After all, most villa areas are located in low-density, quiet and green places. Most of the luxury houses on the Bund are high-rise buildings: Thompson-Ipin, Kafko Ocean View, Jolie on the Bund, Huangpu Bay, and other high-end residential areas not listed here are among the most famous luxury homes on the Bund. Most of them are high-rise buildings built along the river. Luo Yang plans to buy a new house in these luxury homes. House prices have fallen in recent years. For example, Thompson-Ipin has dropped from 360,000 yuan per square meter at its peak to 250,000 yuan per square meter. Even so, the price of most 430 square meter apartments is around 100 million. For a few duplex units, housing prices start directly at 200 million. Luo Yang prefers a duplex apartment. He has no problem with funding. His only requirement is a new house. When in doubt, go to Linya. As the assistant to the president, Linya can be said to be Luo Yang's housekeeper. Mr. Luo wants to buy a brand new duplex mansion? Linya did not express surprise. She guessed that Luo Yang was going to buy a house after Luo Yang paid dividends. Well, my current thinking is this. I will first have a place to stay in Shanghai, and then I will buy a house for my parents in the future. Then I may consider the villa area. Please help me pay attention to both of them. Okay, I will contact you as soon as possible and let you know if there is any news. Linya turned around and left. Luo Yang looked at Linya's background and suddenly felt an urge to give it a T or Y.as the assistant to the president. Linya can be said to be the woman Luo Yang has the most contact with. It is impossible for Luo Yang not to feel anything at all. The two have known each other for almost 3 years. Luo Yang remembers that the first time they met was in the peach blossom forest at school. Linya accidentally fell down and was saved by Luo Yang, and the two got to know each other. Linya has a very beautiful appearance and a very elegant temperament. She was the star of the finance department in school, but it's just that Linya kept a low profile during school and had never been rumored to be in love with other boys. After Luo Yang founded Beichin Technology, when the Department of Finance recruited accounting and finance department employees, Linya was the first to apply. After that, Linya held many positions. In addition to finance, she was also responsible for human resources. Finally, she became Luo Yang's assistant and has been with Luo Yang until today. Linya handles many affairs around Luo Yang by herself. It is definitely not an exaggeration to call her a housekeeper. Han Feng and He Siyuan also hinted at Luo Yang that Linya had a crush on Luo Yang and hoped that he would not miss this relationship. For Luo Yang and Linya, many initial employees of the company thought they were a pair of golden girls. One was a leader in the computer department, and the other was a beauty in the finance department. At the moment they were working in the same company, many people looked at them with their eyes. Let's look at the two of them with the idea of a love idol drama. When will Mr. Luo and Assistant Lin make the official announcement? I'm so confused. Mr. Luo is obviously a straight man with a head full of codes. Assistant Lin has a very quiet personality. It is too difficult for her to take the initiative. This is simply like a real domineering president falling in love with me. If it is made into a TV series, it will be a sweet love idol drama. I will definitely follow this drama. I hope it won't turn into a bloody family ethics drama, ending with all kinds of abuse. Bah, bah, bah. Who wants to watch a bloody drama? I hope Assistant Lin will seize the opportunity quickly. Those old women at the front desk look at Mr. Luo and want to eat him. Several ladies in the finance department were whispering in their spare time about the scandal between their immediate boss and the big boss. If they hadn't already had a boyfriend, they would never give up the opportunity to pursue Luo Yang.